Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
Gentle people.
How are you on this fine evening?
I think my mood is going to be determined by the effectiveness of Jameson Taillon. So going downhill quickly.
If that's the case, then I'll have two reasons to be happy, because the Padres are about to win, and the Yankees might lose.
Why do you hate on the Yankees so much? I was rooting for your underperforming, miserable Mets.
Well, that's because that was your mistake. You're too nice.
See, I can't root for the Phillies, right? As a Mets fan. And I can't root for the Padres. Now, I would have probably rooted for the Padres, right? But I can't root for the Padres now because, of them beating the Mets in the wild card series. So since I don't hate the Yankees, unlike Pete, there you go. I will root for the Yankees.
I just have one question for you Mets fans.
Mm-hmm.
How bad was it to see Zach Wheeler pitching the way that Zach Wheeler pitched last night?
Oh, I could to this day kill the Wilpons for letting him go. And I say that figuratively. I don't mean I want to physically actually do that to them. But,
right.
I'm very angry with the Wilpons for letting Zach.
That brought out at least 5 poop emojis and a tantrum.
Exactly.
I'm going to just say it's typical.
Yeah.
Look, Wheeler was one of he was one of those guys that they either held on to for too long or didn't have enough faith in and let him go, and then he would blossom somewhere else. Now, look, you could say it hasn't been an easy road for him even since leaving the Mets. He's had his struggles still.
And there's
are they supposed to hang on to a guy for 10 fucking years and hope that he blossoms? And so I can't. Yeah, the hindsight is always 20/20, but I can't kill him too much about Wheeler. Having said that, it was painful to watch.
Well, but think about both pitchers in that game. Both have had a pretty long up and down career, and I think both have had pretty better careers than I think people have given them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Yu Darvish had a fairly extensive career before he came to the major leagues in Japan. But I mean, Yu Darvish has lost a couple of games here in the postseason. I think any other team saying, "Hey, if we're going to get 7 innings out of Yu Darvish and he's going to give up 2 runs, I'll take it."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but unfortunately, the Mets they cannot beat Yu Darvish. I think the Mets are literally 0-6 against Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish is a pretty good pitcher. He has his years where he's lights out, one of the top ERA guys in the league. And then he has those years, much like Wheeler, where it's like, all right, why did the wheels fall off all of a sudden?
Right.
But that's baseball
Wheeler
now.
And
they've both been around a long time.
Wheeler was usually pretty decent
right
when he was healthy.
When he was healthy. And then he missed major gaps. Darvish had the injury too for a while there. With Darvish, they both moved around quite a bit, and I think they've gotten off the radar a little bit. When Darvish left the Dodgers, I think his profile week lessened. Same thing a little bit, I think, with Wheeler, going to a smaller market and not necessarily being on people's screens all the time. Right. But look, great pitching last night. I mean, surprising, I think, a little bit, but 2 teams who are relying on some veteran arms to get them through a series.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it for as much as people love, the long ball, and to me, with all the flaws of this baseball season, especially with the late start and everything, the balance between hitting and pitching and the reemergence of some good pitching has been refreshing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we could just get people to stop rocking the baby after they hit a solo home run when they're down by 3 runs, then, things will return to normal.
Right. I mean, you know what? That was, did you see what Torres did last night?
Well, I saw it.
Yeah.
And, it was a response. And I get it. I don't like what Cabrera did after he hit his home run. Look, if he did that 10 years ago, the next time he came up to the plate, he'd take one in the fucking grill.
Right.
And you know what? I'd applaud whoever did it. Because if they did it right now, I'd applaud it. Because it's utterly fucking garbage. It's garbage. Let them have fun. I get it. It doesn't have to be a non-emotional game. But that's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You're still down by 2 runs. You hit a solo shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, the story was that he's been doing that all year when he hits a home run.
Well, Bill Cosby's been doing shitty things his whole life too. Doesn't excuse it.
There's kind of that balance between what baseball wants, which is, as you say, let them have fun, let them show emotion and all that. But there's also, it's kind of it sort of makes me think of like the, some of the great players in football, the guys who got in the end zone the most, some of the all-time greats, they didn't put on these ridiculous celebrations. No. They just, give the ball to the referee, or you spike it, or, you spin it or whatever, but you don't have to go through this elaborate, celebration, especially when you're down.
Right.
And that's somebody ought to take, when somebody does that, someone ought to just grab them and go, look at the scoreboard.
They can't anymore. That's the problem. They can't anymore. They would.
No.
And they have in the past.
But there ought to, I mean, honestly, it ought to be,
and it's karma. Teammates. It comes back.
It ought to be their teammates when they get back to the dugout who say, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That's why we're
losing this game. This is not about you right now.
Right.
Yeah, you got us 1 run closer, but that's not the way it goes now. So
right. Well, they were just so happy that they weren't, scoring runs on dribs, drabs, dribblers, errors, and balls that rolled foul, came back fair, and landed near third base
and bounced over the bag and turned into a double.
I mean, talk about a team that just had every little bloop and blunder go their way. It's just. Again, I don't like the game relying on the home run, but it would be nice if somebody could just hit a clean single.
That would be nice.
Well, listen, I know that they were playing the Yankees and the Yankees were victorious, but the Cleveland Guardians of maybe any team in baseball play the most kind of right. They don't play home run baseball. They don't hit a lot of home runs.
They don't. When they do, they rock the baby.
Yeah, but they play old school baseball. They move runners.
They play old school baseball. They play that's small ball. It's not necessarily old school. And they weren't as successful at that in this series. My point being,
they weren't.
There was a lot of. I mean, for Ramirez, such a great hitter, to have so many hits, just little squibbers. It just seemed like the Yankees could not catch a break or catch a ball in left field. I mean, Lou Piniella would have caught half those balls. It's just, come on. The basic fundamentals of defense have deteriorated. I'm sorry. I feel like the first baseman in this league and the catchers are still really good. But I think that there's some fundamental baseball that's just lacking.
Speaking of fundamentals,
if there's a ground ball hit at you, you put your body in front of it. Pete's having a flash dance moment.
Pete's having a Max Headroom kind of thing.
I'm just glitching a little bit.
There you go. Kind of liking that though. It's not affecting the audio.
No,
not at all. That works. I'm having a beer, so cheers.
Cheers.
It's
good for you.
A little Oktoberfest. Little Oktoberfest from Bolero Snort and
Bolero Snort.
Bolero Snort and C3 Brewing. It's a collab.
So. Oh God. Can we let some women into the beer industry so we don't have such horrible marketing and names?
Well, the name, ironically, well, I'll tell you about Bolero Snort really quick. Bolero Snort is actually an anagram. The name of the owner of Bolero Snort is Robert Olson. So if you rearrange the letters in Robert Olson, it spells Bolero Snort. That's how he came up with the name. So.
Yeah. Clever.
Again, not an excuse.
So, all right. So the Yankees are playing the Astros right now as we speak in Game 1 of the ALCS. I believe it is 1-0 still.
1-1.
1-1. So who's winning?
Stanton just missed a home run by inches. He's second and third. No outs. No outs or 1 out.
1 out, I think.
1 out. And here's another thing, by the way. If you hit the ball,
run.
Mm-hmm. Because basically, this is probably why they can't catch the ball either. Their depth perception is horrible.
Well, at least Josh Donaldson should run more than anybody else.
All of them run. By the time you get to first base, you'll have plenty of time to celebrate if it goes out. If it doesn't, you'll be on second base.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fundamentals, geez. When was the last time you saw a bunt? If the shift is on and there is nobody on the entire third base side of the infield, just lay down a bunt.
They can't. I really believe they can't. Otherwise, they would. It makes no sense. But I mean, the shift is gone anyway after this year.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, this is right. This is the problem with baseball. That instead of waiting for the game to compensate for the defensive changes, right? The powers that be say, "Oh no, we can't do that. You're taking away too many hits, so no more shift." Or or you can only put whatever, so many players, whatever the rule change is, so many players on one side of the second base or whatever it is. So, like, why not just wait a couple of years or a season or two and let the game catch up, and let people start learning to bunt again and start hitting the opposite way? We're gonna fix it.
Well, I think the overall theory behind that is when they put the shift on, they're not putting the shift on for a 160 hitter, right?
They're putting the shift on for almost everybody.
But yeah, to a point, depending on how they are. But more often than not, it's for a better hitter. So they don't want to take the bat out of the hands of a better hitter by having him lay down a bunt. Although it just doesn't make any sense because that's an easy single.
Yeah, and right? You don't have to.
Or maybe even a double. Maybe you could even score a run from first base on a bunt down the third base line,
Yeah, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to make that change offensively too much before the defense is going to stop shifting, or at least stop shifting so heavily.
Right.
But if you never bother doing that, then why,
what's the point?
Why should they bother changing the shift? Right? If you're just going to keep swinging
away. And they're obviously right about it. I mean, it works a lot of times.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Every time you see them put the shift on, the batter hits the ball right at one of those guys.
Right at the third baseman who's playing.
Doesn't even have to move. Just right to him. There you go.
Rather than letting the game, the third baseman is playing.
Rather than letting the game adjust, the powers that be stepped in and said, "Oh, we're going to regulate this," and that's just not what you should be doing.
Yeah. I'm all right with them minimizing the shift. It used to kind of be an unwritten rule, because it's not that new. They used to do it occasionally for extreme hitters, but I mean, geez, it's I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Well, they're redoing it now. Yeah. It's going to be two people have to be on two players, two infielders have to be on either side of second base, right? And there's also something in there, a statement in there as to where they can play as far as how far off the dirt, either behind the dirt or in front of the dirt on the infield, where they can play too. They can't. In other words, like the second baseman can't.
They can't play short center.
Right. The second baseman can't go all the way out to where the third baseman was going, and then the shortstop come all the way over just right at second base, but on the third base side of second base. So it essentially is almost the same thing of what they're doing now. There's some rules and regulations to it, but
yeah. So now you've got spacing and measurements involved, right? And what happens when somebody hits a home run and then they go back and the manager says, hey, that guy was, 5 feet past where he should be. You're going to take that run off the board. What are you going to do then?
It would be the same. You couldn't do that because it would be the team pitching would be accused of it. So you wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't care if he hit a home run. If he got an out, then they could argue it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he hits a pop up to the second baseman, and the manager says, "Hey, that guy was." He wasn't in the legal, boundaries of the shift. Let the game adjust, for Christ's sakes. Don't.
Right. Well,
if you've got a football team and they're down to their third string quarterback and he's got a hairline fracture in his wrist and he can't throw the ball.
Right.
And all they can really do is run. So the other team just stacks, 8 in the box. Is the league going to then step in and go, no, you can't do that because it's not fair.
I don't think that's trying to
regulate. No, it's not a great analogy, but stop trying to regulate, what they can and cannot do on the field as far as where they want to put their players. Just let the game adjust. Make those guys start hitting to those holes. I guarantee they'll start putting players there if you just hit the opposite way.
Right.
It's a really simple solution. You don't need to get the powers that be involved.
And what do you think? Not that we should belabor this conversation because we got to talk about playoffs. But what do you think about the just one other thing? And I know we kind of touched on this several shows ago, but what's your take on the only 2 throws over to first base by the pitcher?
I think that's kind of ridiculous.
All right. So
is that even an issue?
I believe as the rule goes, it's 2 throws over to first base. He can throw a third time, but if he doesn't get him out, it's a balk.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that if he
gets him, if
trying to speed up the game.
If the base runner, if the man on first gets takes his lead or whatever and gets the pitcher to throw a third time over to first, and he beats the throw back all 3 times, he gets second anyway.
Right.
That's stupid.
It's just fucking stupid.
Everybody else moves up too.
Well,
right?
Yeah,
if it's a balk and there's a guy on third, he's coming home to score a run.
Right. If there's a runner on first, if their bases are loaded, they're run scores.
See, here's why I don't look. Who was the league leader in stealing bases last year?
Ricky
Who knows? Yeah, still right. And how many did they have? What was the most stolen bases? Was it 30 something, 40 maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not like there's just not that many base stealers. There are certain guys, obviously, who are a threat. So I don't feel like there's nearly as many guys that you even need to necessarily throw over. Right.
Right.
There's not as many base stealing. I don't feel like there's how many guys get 5-6 throws from first, from the pitcher.
It's a tactic by the pitcher to disrupt the rhythm of the guy at the plate.
Right. But I'm saying maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, maybe had more guys stealing bases and it might really slow down the game because there might be 2, maybe 3 guys on any given team that the pitcher wants to throw over multiple times. Right. Now, how many guys? 2 on any given team that you really, really need to try and keep that close.
Right.
I don't feel like it's as much of, there's just not as much of a threat of a stolen base these days. And so I don't know what the stats say. Maybe they're completely counteract my argument, but I wouldn't think there's that many.
John Birdie from the Marlins had 41 stolen bases.
Yeah. Okay. So
in one game.
And then he retired.
His on-base percentage was off the charts.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe it's more of an issue than I think, but I just don't. I mean, I've watched however, not a lot of baseball games this past season or past couple seasons, but I don't remember being bored by the pitcher's throwing over again.
But
maybe a few times, but not like it used to be.
Here's what it changes, okay? Because what happens is that if a pitcher throws over once and gets close to the runner shrinks his lead. The runner tries to do it again. The pitcher throws 2 more pitches. The runner stretches his lead again. They throw over. It's close. So what it does is it keeps that runner from getting a huge lead after that second pickoff attempt on a hit and run play or on a hit. So I don't like that at all.
No.
Most of the time, I don't like any of these changes. So,
well, this is all Rob Manfred, and it's all about speeding up the game because he wants the 18-year-olds that are playing World of Warcraft to watch baseball.
They're not going to watch.
And I don't care if they shorten the game to 5 minutes. If they're not watching the game now, they're not watching the game then. It doesn't matter. If you like baseball, watch baseball. If you don't like baseball, don't watch baseball. That's really what it boils down to. You know, there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of kids out there watching baseball. Okay. Maybe there aren't. Maybe obviously there's more kids watching football, but there's very little overlap of those two sports. You know?
I think there's also probably, as far as kids go, if you're talking about school age kids, they're probably a lot more heavily scheduled, certainly than we necessarily ever were. They don't have time to sit down, even necessarily for 2 hours, and watch a baseball game.
My son does it on the radio.
Yeah. Right, but I mean, they don't have kids today don't have 2 hours to sit and watch.
The other thing too is that they don't know they don't know how many people are watching baseball, because if you ask any kid under the age of 22, okay, they're going to be watching it on their phone or their computer or their iPad, and they're going to be watching it from some website that nobody even knows how they're getting it.
Right.
So they're not sitting at home searching for TBS on their or Fox Sports 1 on like me for 40 minutes the other day on their fucking.
I'm searching the internet for where is the damn game on.
Right. And they have bootlegged links to watch every NFL and Major League Baseball game, whatever they want. And they don't, so the sport will be fine.
I know. And I think that's really, I don't know.
All right. On the subject of things that should be changed, let's transition into this baseball format.
Let's talk about that for a minute. We'll get back to the games. There's not much to really talk about the games, but this baseball format, I mean, okay, the Mets were their own biggest enemy in the wild card series, because they were one of the better teams that actually didn't have time off, right? And they still shit the bed. But yeah, I mean, the Braves, the Braves are a better team than the Phillies. The Dodgers are a better team than the Padres. The time off screwed them. And it's a short series. It's a 5-game series. If you're going to give them time off, you got to make the divisional series 7 games.
It's not just the time off. It's the fact that there's no time off in between games. And this baseball is about pitching, and about never have we had travel days with a game that night. This is utter fucking nonsense. Okay, I don't mind having back-to-back games. If it's a 2-1-2 series, that's fine. But there's got to be a day off in between those travel days, or somewhere in there, so that you don't have this consent. Because all this is going to change the game too. And I know why they're doing this is because they don't like the fact that this year pitching is dominated, batting averages are down, runs are down, with the exception of Aaron Judge. Kind of home runs are down, not necessarily, but. And the fact that they're trying to get the season in with more playoff games and a late start due to the lockout.
Right.
But they cannot, you cannot have 5 games in a row and then have to travel from New York to Houston and play a game in less than 24 hours. It's just.
Well, they did have a day off, but that was only because of a rain out.
Well, they're sitting at the stadium. It's a little different.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. You're right. They didn't have to actually play. But then that extra game immediately precedes the fucking championship series. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I don't like the Yankees.
They couldn't shift everything up one day.
This is really hurting the Yankees. Look, if the Yankees can win this series, and they're going to win it based on the fact that they just outplayed Houston, but everything is set up for Houston. Now, granted, you could say, okay, Houston swept. They should have that benefit. They blah, 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 blah. There's time off. This compressed schedule is just, it's horrible for the pitchers. I mean, it's going to lead to what baseball doesn't want, which is longer games with 17 pitchers being used for an inning each, because all their arms are shot. I mean, look, in the past, okay, Cleveland would have had Shane Bieber pitching last night. But Terry Francona, a great manager with a lot of success, didn't start him. And a lot of people questioned it. The fact of the matter is, I don't think he could. So this just goes, and that was with an extra game of rest. So there was no chance of him starting that fifth game if it was going to be played on the night when the rainout was. Even with that extra day, it gave the Yankees the opportunity to start Nestor Cortes. So it helps the Yankees in that game. Mother Nature gave the Yankees a big break there because although Taillon's sort of okay, knock on wood, doing okay, Cortes is lights out. He's the Yankees' best pitcher.
Yeah, Taillon's not the guy you want.
On that note,
Nestor was only able to go 5 innings, even though he looked like, and he had the stuff where he could have gone 7, maybe even into the 8th. So
now, was he only able to go 5 innings because he really was only able to go 5 innings, or because Aaron Boone decided he was only able to go 5
Well, it was because he was on 3 days, and look, they monitor this stuff pretty severely, these days. Severely is not the right word, but they're very, very strict on pitch count.
Very cognizant of what's going on.
Right. And with Cole the night before, that's why I was so pissed at that stupid fumbled play, because it made Cole pitch more pitches and made it a little tougher for him to get out of that inning. Having said all that, I just think that if you're going, you need to have one wild card team. You need to have a 5-game ALDS, which is number 4 plays number 1, number 2 plays number 3, and then the ALCS is 7. Or if they're going to keep the same thing, then the ALDS series needs to go to 7 games with proper time off in between,
spacing in between, right? Yeah.
That's my take. That's my take.
I don't understand why sports that have multiple game series feel like it's a good idea to reward a team with a series off.
Exactly.
That would never happen. Never happen. It's not football where the team with the best record or whatever, gets that 1 week where they don't have to play.
Right.
You're talking about games,
Right. The NBA fucked with this for a while when they went 2-3-2 instead of 2-1-1-1. And
everybody should have to play.
2-3-2 helps the team with the lower ranking.
Yeah, if you have the better record, you're the division winner or whatever, you get home field. That is your advantage, but you still have to play, whether it's 3 games or 5 games or whatever. They just this bullshit with 3 games, and they're all you get rewarded with a better record. They're all in your home field. Just enough. It's ridiculous.
Now, are these 2-2-1-1-1 or are these 2-3-2?
2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah, which is the way it needs to be.
Yeah, 2-3-2 makes no sense because so that means that the team with the better record gets the extra game, but that extra game is game 7,
right?
Well, see, I got to disagree with you guys there. I think that's the way it ought to be.
I don't think so. There's something you have to give the team with the postseason, the regular season has to mean something, and that better team with the better record has to be rewarded for that.
Yeah, you get the last game. You get the.
Well, you still get the last game. 2-2-1-1-1. It's worked forever.
1-1-1. You get You get the last game. 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah, but you do end up with extra travel days.
Done.
So
the travel days are rest days. Again, it helps these guys.
Everybody the same, as opposed to because look.
The 2-3-2.
All right. Let's just say. Let's be hypothetical about it. Let's say the away team, right, in the 2-3-2 setup,
the 3 team, yeah,
the 3 team, but the away team on each side of it wins 1 game away. Okay, that means that when you come back when the higher seeded team comes home for their second set of 2 games, game 6 and game 7, they're down 3-2.
Right.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but if they win 1 game on the road, it's a higher probability of them coming back down.
2-2-1-1-1.
2-2-1-1-1 makes it even.
2-3-2.
Now if they come home, now if they play game 6 down 3-2, and they're on the road, that's their problem. because it's even at that point.
If it's 2-3-2, then if either team wins one game on the road, then the other team has to win a game on the road. If the away team wins one of the first two, then for the 3-game set, the away
you
team
have to win.
Yeah, and you kind of should.
Well, yeah, but that also means that the team that has the 3-game set, which is the lower seeded team,
has to win every game at home.
Wins 2 at home. And if they somehow sweep at home, they just won. And they
deserve to. If they sweep at home against a better team after beating them once in their home palace, they deserve to win.
If
the better team can't win one game in the away,
but then the better team has to win 2 games.
Hold on. Do you know how many championships where that has not proven true? A lot. And let me ask you a question.
Where what has not proven true?
Where a team has not won an away game to win a championship, where they've only won games at home.
That's happened. They just win games at home, right? Well,
therefore it's called home field advantage.
Yeah, the bottom line,
and that's the advantage of having the better record is you get those 4 games at home, so you don't have to win on the road. But if you lose a home game, you have to win a road game.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
It's 2-3-2. What would I'd rather be the 3.
Right. That's my point. But home field advantage means home field advantage. I get it. You're getting 4 games at home, but you're getting the first 2 and the last 2. That's not an advantage. The advantage at that point is for the team that gets 3 games straight at their home.
The first 6 games, you're at home for 3, you're away for 3. So nobody has an advantage.
But if there's
you could say the team that has the first 2 at home has an advantage because they have those first 2 at home. But the first 6 games, each team's got 3. And now,
but if you do the home field advantage is far less, and
it's more of a home field advantage to do 2-2-1-1-1 because 2-2-1-1-1 the first 6 games you still have 3 games away and 3 games home.
Well, of course, you're always going to have 3 games. 3 games,
right?
There's no other way to do it. Right. I don't know. I'm a fan of the 2-2.
Maybe I'm not a fan.
How about 4 and 3? How about 4 and 3? The home field advantage team, the higher seeded team, gets 4 games at home.
4 straight games at home,
and
then you go to the other team and they get 3.
No, but
still an advantage for the 3 team.
If the higher,
still an advantage for the 3 team.
If the lower seeds team, the team that gets 3, if their league wins the All-Star game, then they get their 3 at home first.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
So it's 3 and 4.
Yeah. So
how about 1, 3, and 3? How about that?
1 wild card team. Playoffs start right away.
Like it always was once they first started with the wild card.
2-2-1, 2-2-1-1-1. There you go. Commissioner Costello says this is what we're doing.
Yeah, they have monkeyed around with it.
Commissioner Lug Nutz.
And Commissioner Lug Nutz. I think I texted you guys the other day about the easiest path for the Yankees to the Astros, right? When Cleveland won. And And, you know, Harry said, hey, Cleveland's a tough team. And you were right. They are a tough team. And I was, you know, kind of half joking anyway.
Who else would they have played? Who did Cleveland beat?
Cleveland beat Seattle, right?
Seattle beat.
Seattle lost to Houston.
So Cleveland beat.
Cleveland beat the Blue Jays.
The Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, the Rays. Oh, the Seattle beat the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Blue Jays. Yeah. So, but I mean, the point
I said Cleveland's a better team. They had a better record.
Yeah, and you were right. But the point I was making is, to me, the powers that be wanted the Yankees and the Astros in the ALCS.
Yeah, the powers that be definitely did not want the Phillies and the Padres.
No, they definitely did not. And so that's why I think the way they set this up is a failure.
You see parity here, right? Because you had three teams from the National League East in the playoffs. Two of the three wildcard teams were out of the NL East.
Right.
You had three teams from the American League East in the playoffs. You had two teams from the American League and National League West, and just the divisional winner from both Central divisions.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, look, the Cardinals going down was to me as much of a shock as the Braves going down. Now the Dodgers, that was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But again, 5-game series, and then you lose one of those first two, and you're in a hole.
Right, and also, and this hasn't been talked about either, but the Phillies, I think, with the exception of the Dodgers, because they tied them, or maybe they were one game ahead, I'm not sure, but the Phillies, from the All-Star break, had the best record in baseball.
Yeah, the team with the best record in September, Cleveland.
Right.
So yeah.
When
you're hot, you're hot.
We do have the setup now. We do have the setup now of the underdog National League team. Whoever comes out of this,
which one's the underdog? Which one's the underdog now? I guess.
No, I'm saying whoever wins the championship,
whoever it is the underdog.
Phillies or the Padres are the underdog against either the Yankees or the Astros. So you do have that kind of storyline. But I don't think that's what Major League Baseball would have preferred.
No. Yeah, the Major League Baseball definitely is. Yeah, I'm sure they would have wanted a San Diego, Houston.
I think Major League Baseball was prepared for an Astros-Dodgers World Series. And that's probably what they wanted.
I would think they would want the Dodgers or the Mets to come out of the National League. But it's either the Phillies or the Padres. So
look, Philly's a big market. San Diego's not, but it's a good story. They've got a lot of star power on that team. Manny Machado's a household name. They're one of the other big star, players is that they got at the All-Star break is yet to kind of break through. But and maybe their highest profile player can't see
didn't play.
Yeah. So they made some moves at the All-Star break. Josh Hader, that moves turned out to be pretty brilliant for them. Mm-hmm. It's not like San Diego doesn't have, the Phillies have Chase Utley and Kyle Schwarber and
Chase Utley.
I mean, what's it? Yeah,
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Freudian slip there.
There you go.
Yeah, but
I did say Ricky Henderson.
You're kind of the same player. Let's be honest.
The Phillies have been pretty low profile of late.
Not necessarily. The Philly's a pretty big market, and you constantly see those guys on sports.
Yeah, but but they have
baseball and blah, blah, blah.
They haven't come close to really sniffing at doing anything.
There's no high profile teams anymore because there's no game of the week. There's no Inside Baseball on Channel 4. It's just all
Never.
Yeah.
All right. So Yankees Astros. Where do we think this series is going? What do we think?
I just, with the way this is shaping up for the Yankees, I can't see the burden that their bullpen is going to have and the injuries to their bullpen. I can't see it happening. The other thing is that the Yankees are missing a really two key defensive and offensive components and flexibility to their lineup, and that's LeMahieu and Benintendi. Mm-hmm. Carpenter's back, but he's a shell of himself. You're talking about 3 of the top 4 Yankee on-base percentage and average hitters, and two guys who are very flexible when it comes to defensive positioning, not being in the lineup.
Right.
The Hicks injury is a hard one. I would love to see Aaron Hicks in there, but he's not as big a loss to me. The Michael King injury and the Yankees' sort of lack of depth. What's his name? Who was the other relief pitcher? Who was Chad?
Ochocinco?
No, who's the guy who I said was going to pitch?
Ted Green.
Ted Green. Those are big losses. Big injuries.
Right.
Their starting pitchers have been in and out, and there's a big unknown with Frankie Montas. The Astros are a definitive favorite, and I think the Yankees are going to have to play perfect baseball, and they're going to have to get production out of the bottom of IKF. Bader's going to have to continue to hitting the way he is. We're going to have to see continued production from Torres. And somebody, Donaldson, Carpenter, somebody's going to have to start hitting, because the Yankees hit 182 in that series with the Guardians. Mm-hmm. They can't win with that.
They can't.
Is there higher than Altuve hit though?
Yeah. Here's another question for you.
Does he have a hit yet tonight?
I'll take Altuve.
Here's another question for you.
He's got more home runs than anybody else.
Can the Yankees get to an ALCS without playing Houston?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what team is going to challenge Houston. I think Seattle's a team that's geared to be there for the next couple of years. That's for sure. They went out and got the best free agent acquisition, I think, at the trade deadline.
With Luis Castillo.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been pretty phenomenal since then. Mm-hmm. A little better than Frankie Montas. So yeah, I think that there are some teams in the American League. Tampa and Toronto are going to be good. I think Seattle has kind of moved slightly ahead of them. I think Cleveland's obviously going to be a team that's going to be pretty good. I think the White Sox will bounce back next year. Yeah. But yeah, right now, the Yankees and Astros, I think, are the two best teams in the American League, despite the fact that the Yankees had a very up and down roller coaster season with a very, very long drought of playing pretty miserable baseball.
Agreed. Let's jump over to the NLCS. First of all, what's the score there now?
Yankees?
Still 1-1.
Still 1-1?
1-1.
All right. Phillies Padres game 2 is over. Padres did win it 8-5. So the series is now tied 1 game apiece. Game 3 is
in Philly.
Yeah. So
tomorrow.
We'll be going,
I think it's
Friday.
Tomorrow. Friday. So they do have a day off.
Yeah. It's Friday. So how do you think that series is going to go?
I think the Padres are a deeper team.
Okay.
I like the Phillies pitching, but I don't know if I think the Padres just have a little bit more depth, and I think the Padres are able to. I think their lineup is a little bit more. I think they can get production unknown out of the lower spots in their lineup a little bit more than Philly can.
Gotcha. Speaking of their pitching, I got this graphic I want to throw up here for a second. Hold on. This is game 3 versus the Mets in the wild card series. Padres here. Here we go. Joe Musgrove's spin rate. And if you look during the entire season, his 4-seam fastball was plus 106 in differential. All right.
There we go.
His cutter.
He must have had something.
Now, and see where it says cutter right here? He's holding his finger up, and it's kind of breaking the U there, and it looks like it says a different word there, but I'm not going to say what it looks like. So, anyway, it's up.
Got
No.
Putter?
It looks like it's a C and then an L and an I instead of a U.
Yeah.
It's a new pitch.
It's a brand new pitch.
Talk about a little moisture.
A little bit. Anyway,
Mariano had one of those. He would have been completely unhittable.
He'd still be pitching.
Yeah, his cutter, his putter, and his clitter.
Was that the cutter or the clitter? I couldn't tell from here.
There's no such pitch as a clitter because half the men can't find it.
Yeah.
This is very true. All right. On that note, his cutter was up 116. His slider was up 248.
Yeah, that's a lot of spin.
The spin rate. All right. So, look, I'm sure I get it. Whatever. It is what it is now.
It's colder out.
Yeah, that's why. Right. But I'm sorry. There was something on his ear. I mean, maybe it was sunburn. Who the hell knows? But it was something on his ear because it was very, very shiny. But whatever.
His ears were very shiny, no question about it.
Yeah.
But they checked him and they couldn't find anything.
I guess.
Whatever.
Look, I'm not blaming that. I blame the Mets. They couldn't hit the ball. They couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for the last month and a half. So that game, the season didn't fall down to that because of that one game. So
the Mets are not alone, man. If you look at the Mets, the Dodgers, the Braves, I mean, wow, I don't think I've ever seen a postseason where that many really good teams are out in their first round of the playoffs. I mean, it's just
so. And
that's going to be fine.
Comes back to what we were saying there. I got a question for you on the Yankees, though. I'll ask you, Harry, and Pete, you can weigh in. If the Yankees lose this series and the Astros go on to the World Series, is Aaron Boone still the manager next year?
Yeah, because I think he's had a better year this year, even with the ups and downs, than I think he did last year and the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Boone's made some weird decisions, and I'll tell you what, he made up for it. I thought he did everything right last night. Mother Nature helped a little bit.
Sure.
Nestor was good. I thought he managed that game pretty well. I think he finally listened to everybody and moved Judge out of the. I've been screaming it. It took a while for it to get from Denver to the Bronx, but I've been screaming for him to move Judge out of the leadoff spot. I think he's still too high at number 2.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this the other day, going back and forth with what A-Rod said.
Right.
You know, that's stupid to have your best hitter leading off.
Right. Anyway, the Yankees aren't going to fire Aaron Boone. The big question mark in the Yankees post in the offseason is to be, are they going to pony up and pay Aaron Judge to keep him?
Yeah. Well, on that note, is Brian Cashman still the GM?
I think so. Look, the Yankees are very slow to make big changes like that. While I don't agree with everything with Cashman, and I wish the Yankees still have the draw to go out. Look, if the Yankees had a Luis Castillo starting tonight as their second or first option with Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole coming behind him, then I think the Yankees are the prohibited favorite to win the World Series. But they don't. They don't.
Right.
So they nibbled around the edges, and they've been doing that for a while now. Is that Cashman, or is it just the Yankees? And is it the appeal of the Yankees, or are they really tightening their pockets?
I think it's a little of everything, to be honest with you.
I don't love Cashman. If I had to choose one to go, Cashman or Boone, I would say that a change with Cashman would be refreshing.
Well, there's a reason I ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some chatter. I didn't make this up. I heard some chatter. I've heard it from a couple of different sources.
Right.
There's a certain former Yankee who's acted in a role of a GM in the past that moved back to the area. Yeah. And there's a certain former Yankee that has managed many teams in the past that is no longer managing the team he was just managing. And
Girardi's not coming back, and Jeter's not going to be.
It's not Girardi, Jeter, and Mattingly.
Yeah. Look, I love Don Mattingly, but he's not a great manager. Is Don Mattingly better than Aaron Boone? Probably not for this team. Mm-hmm. The direction the Yankees are going in with bringing up all the Oswalds and Oswaldos of the world, they're gonna be younger next year. You know, Bader's not necessarily all that old. I think if they can hold on to Judge, they got a good team. They got a good team. They need some depth of pitching. I think that this team sort of likes Boone, and I think that he might be the key, believe it or not. I don't think you're going to keep Aaron Judge by dangling a new manager in front of him.
Fair enough.
And I think that the relationship between Cashman, I don't see it happening this year because of the negotiations for Judge. I don't think they're going to want to bring somebody in and then, try to do that. And with all due respect to Derek Jeter, I'm not sure how much experience. I'm not sure how much better Jeter would be in that position either.
Who knows? I got two other things for you, really. One other thing for you, really quick.
Well, Jeter's part owner of the Marlins, isn't he?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He bought.
He's not anymore.
He's out of that deal.
Pickleball team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, him and everybody else.
Well,
let me just ask you one thing. Cashman's been the GM for how long?
What, 20 years now, right?
Almost. No, it's sick, Michael.
18?
95, 18, 17, 18 years. Yeah. No, 20.
22 years.
Okay, I don't need
26 years. 26 years.
More than 20. Okay, so
27 years.
Century.
Yeah.
So if they're really going to do things differently here, and I agree with you, I think they probably are going to want him involved in negotiations for Aaron Judge, unless Aaron Judge has got a grudge against Brian Cashman. But if they're really doing things differently, then maybe Cashman's, not always able to adapt, right, to a different formula, and they may be looking to move him. But the Yankees, they don't really seem like the team that's going to do things wholesale. right?
No.
They don't clean house. They don't let's tear it all down.
No, they're not going to do that.
They may do that with aspects of the team, but
right.
So I don't know. Unless if Aaron Judge gets along well with Brian Cashman, I think he'll stick around for the negotiations.
I think there's a bigger chance, like you said, if there's an issue with Cashman and somebody else coming in is going to be able to negotiate the Judge deal better, then I see the potential for a move with Cashman, and they'll say he's going to retire or move on or whatever the case might be. But the fact of the matter is who else? You could say what you want about Cashman. Who else is going to do that job? Who's going to step in and smoothly negotiate that better than Cashman?
I don't know.
Yeah. And again, he's getting to the ALCS. So it's not like they're not making the playoffs or they're bowing out in a wild card, loss. So, how much can he say? Well, if you go, well, we didn't win the World Series again. And that was his job to, part of his job was to get us there. Who the hell's going to want that job?
Right.
If that's really the high standard, right? Which we always say, Yankees, it's World Series or bust. But what GM is going to want to come in after 25 years of Brian Cashman, and they're going to go, well, he didn't get us the World Series,
and be known as
so he's gone. So now it's your turn. No thanks. I'll go somewhere else.
And if he or she becomes the person who doesn't land Aaron Boone,
Judge,
right?
I mean Judge,
Aaron Judge, yeah.
Speaking of Aaron Judge, speaking of Aaron Judge,
2.5 strikes against him automatically.
Right there, yeah. Speaking of Aaron Judge, Big Poppy weighed in on the whole thing the other day. I'll throw the meme up here and we'll read it together, shall we?
Sure.
Aaron Judge would be a perfect fit for the Mets. I would give him $50 million for the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, well, of course. He wants a 10 Big Poppy, Nobody's ever confused you with being fucking Einstein. It's... Yeah, but he wants it for 10 years. That's the problem.
Well, no, in other words, he's saying give him $50 million for the next 5 or 6 and then whatever else to get to 10 kind of thing.
Well, what is Trout making a year? 45?
43, I think.
So it's going to be 50. It's going to be 50 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
When did Big Poppy become the GM of the Mets?
I don't know.
I missed that news story. That's nice of it. He's very generous.
That
half decade, though.
But if you put him and Pedro Martinez on together, I need to turn the subtitle. I need to translate it. I can't.
You need to put closed captioning
and they don't even know what the hell they're saying. The closed captioning is just like question marks.
Wasn't that a bit on Saturday Night Live?
Probably.
When Chico Escuela would say something.
Chico Escuela. Hey, Sabala, been very, very good to me.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Chico Escuela.
Back when you could get away with
it. I haven't heard that name.
Do I still...
It's only 7 years.
Chico. Wow, tonight's deep dig. Chico Escuela. Tonight's Old Balls. Chico Escuela.
Chico,
we got to do that for Old Balls.
Old Balls, the analyst who couldn't be understood. We go back to 1979 and Chico Escuela.
All right. Well,
hold on.
Who do you guys think are going to win?
I think the Padres are going to win. You know, I mean, they toiled in the shadow of
You've been
the
hot
Dodgers.
on the Padres all year.
Yeah, they didn't have Tatis, and they were the redheaded stepchildren and all that, and yet they managed to persevere. They took out the Mets, and I think they got to be feeling really good about themselves. John, you were right again about the Phillies against St. Louis, and they're tough, and yeah, their pitching's good, but I think the Padres they have a go for broke attitude, and they're still a talented team, even, and they've got two guys, Bell and what's his name? The other guy who came over in the trade.
Luis Soto, yeah.
Soto. And neither one of those guys has been what they were hoping for. They certainly weren't during the regular season. So either one of those guys, let alone...
what they did today. But
by the way, here you go. There's Chico Escuela's Mets card. There you go.
So either one of those guys, let alone both of them, get hot for a couple of games.
Even Chico Escuela.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah. I think Garrett Morris is in his 80s now, so he could probably pitch well. He could probably play second base decently.
Yeah. He still looks the same, too.
Who do you got in the AL? Do you got the Yankees or the Astros?
I got to take the Astros. I think they're just a better team. I'd like to pick the Yankees. I kind of would, but because that, I figured that would make me be more painful for me, and that's what usually happens in my life. But I think the Astros are.
Well, the one time it might be easy to root for the Yankees is when they're playing the Astros.
Of course.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
John, who do you got?
Yankees, actually.
I can't believe you're wearing that jersey and that hat, man.
I think they're actually going to be able. I think.
Who do you have in the NL?
Phillies. I think it's being Yankees, Phillies.
That's a repeat of what?
09.
09.
09. And if it's Yankees, Padres, it's a repeat of 98.
Tony Gwynn not excluded. No.
Right.
Didn't the Padres get swept in that?
They did.
Yeah, and the Phillies. I think the Phillies lost 4-1.
Phillies won one game in that.
4-1.
All right.
So there you go.
Pretty much baseball. Right. One quick. The Nola brothers. I don't know if you read this.
Nola.
Aaron Nola and Austin Nola. First time in Major League Baseball postseason history that a pitcher/position player brothers facing each other in the postseason. So
first time ever, huh?
Mm-hmm.
First in the postseason, yes.
In the postseason.
Yeah. Because they've been playing. They played against each other a few times over the last couple seasons, but
and they're playing in the San Diego Phillies.
Yeah, Austin Nola plays for the Padres, and Aaron Nola pitches for the Phillies.
Yep.
So
that's hard to believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Have they faced each other yet?
They faced each other twice tonight. I think a strikeout or a pop out and a base hit. Part of the whatever it was, 4 or 5 run inning that.
And their parents were in the stands, each wearing.
Dad
jersey and
Dad is AJ, and he said it was both the best and the worst inning of his life.
His dad's listening to the Yankees game. He's a big Yankees fan.
Yeah, he can't stand National League Baseball.
He's watching on his phone. He's like, "Tell me what happens."
Yeah, that's got to be. Well, it's like what's the Steph and what's his name? The
Seth.
Curry brothers.
Seth.
Yeah, like their parents watching them play each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a Belushi's, Jim and John Belushi's parents. Yeah, it's okay, it's nice.
What about
but maybe this talent disparity a little larger in the Belushi brothers than even in the Curry brothers.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Well, there's Travis Kelce and his brother. What else?
Johnny?
Justin Kelce or Jason Kelce, whatever. He plays for the Eagles.
He's pretty good, actually. They're both pretty good.
So yeah, Travis Kelce's kind of good. He's all right.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's not bad.
Yeah, surprising that kids from the same bloodline would both have skills.
Yeah, right. Imagine that.
But Tiki and Rondé Barber.
Sure. Both Pro Bowlers.
Yeah,
both Pro Bowlers. Yeah. I mean, so there you go.
They twins? Were they twins?
Twins, yeah.
Yeah. Identical twins.
Identical twins, yeah.
Not just fraternal.
I still think that was Rondé Barber playing.
And here's a picture of That
was just one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
They never played at the same time. There's always at 1 o'clock.
Always one. Here's a picture of Tiki and Rondé together, right there.
There you go.
So the Giants would come off the field. Tiki Barber would run into the tunnel, change his uniform.
He was the Phil Collins
run back
of football.
out on the field and
He was the Phil Collins of football. The Concorde was always in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, now that we've gotten segued somehow into football, not bad. Keeping our hour show to an hour of just baseball, so that was good.
Well, listen, it's the playoffs.
It's the playoffs. I know we had to do it. So, all right, let's kick it off with a couple of things for baseball. I think there's nothing else for baseball we wanted to talk about, right?
No.
Football. All right, let's talk football. Let's talk about the Giants for a minute, really quick. I want to belabor it. We're not going to talk about a ton of stuff like we have done in the past, the Giants and the Jets and everything else. But I think a 5-1 record deserves a couple of minutes of chatter. Are they? And I'm not gonna use use the term, are they for real? Because we're doing that soon. Not necessarily for the Giants, but this is the segment. But what do you think about this team now? I'll start with Harry. What do you think about this team now? I mean, are you buying in yet?
Well, yeah. I mean, I look, the thing that I have bought in on is I think they finally, after all these years, made an incredible hire in the head coach, and I think that means a lot, especially in today's NFL. The other thing is I think that he's adapted. He's not trying to drag the offense that he used in Buffalo here, because he quite honestly has the exact opposite talent that Buffalo had.
Yeah. Buffalo has good talent.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, the Giants are winning by being able to control the ball and play timely defense. And the one thing he's done, and I said this last week, I think, so I don't want to repeat it too much, is that he's put Daniel Jones in the perfect situation for Daniel Jones to be Daniel Jones. He doesn't throw the ball more than 15 times a game. He tried to be Daniel Jones, and unfortunately a penalty flag came out, at the end of the game this past week. Mm-hmm. But they're running the ball. They're not killing it in the ground game like they were in week 1, but they're doing enough to control the game, keep the ball out of the other team's hands, and their defense has come up with some timely plays. Mm-hmm. And the one guy who's jumped out at me the last couple of weeks is Thibodeau. I think that, again, things that the Giants have not been able to do is to really nail their first-round draft picks, and I think they've done it this time. I think this guy's going to be a game changer. Mm-hmm.
Did you see his dance that he did after he got the sack?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, he didn't rock the baby, but
no, he met Victor Cruz for the first time over in London a week and a half ago, and he told him when he gets a sack, he's going to salsa like him. So
I never saw Harry Carson. I never saw Harry Carson do a dance after a tackle. No. Would I prefer to less dancing?
Different generation.
Maybe less dancing, more tackles. Yeah. The other thing too is that defenses have changed. There's one linebacker who makes all the tackles, and then the rest of them are pass rushers and third down specialists.
Right.
And Thibodeau's sort of in that mold, and that's fine. He is more of an edge player than he is kind of an old school linebacker. But the secondary has been good. The Giants have not given up a ton of points. Their schedule has not been incredibly hard, but they've beaten a couple good teams. Now, Green Bay has lost 2 weeks in a row to the Jets and the Giants. So but the fact that they won against a Ravens team that kind of, now did the Giants win that game, or did the Ravens kind of beat themselves? And I'll take it. A win's a win. And look, Giants.
See, it's so easy as a Giants fan, right, or somebody that likes the Giants or follows the Giants, or anybody for that matter, to fall into the perception that the Ravens beat themselves. Okay, the Giants won the game, so the Ravens must have beaten themselves.
No. I think there's a little bit of that.
Well, the Ravens kind of did sort of what they've been accused of doing this season, which is not being as good as they have been late in the games, in particular Lamar Jackson. Right. So, to answer your question, to go one way or the other, I'd say the Giants won this one. Yeah. They didn't
I would tend to lean a little bit more in that direction.
Yeah, the Ravens kind of, did again what they have been doing, and the Giants were a part of that. It's not like the Ravens automatically fall apart in the fourth quarter, but they haven't been able to close out games. They haven't been as good late in games as they have in the past. And
Giants are going to be tested this week. They're going to be a favorite, and they're going to be tested.
Who?
The Giants.
Who are they playing? Jacksonville?
They're playing Jacksonville.
Jacksonville is a team that...
Jacksonville lost a tough game last week.
There's a couple games Jacksonville's lost that they could have previously won. And they've had some pretty tough competition. I think this is going to be a close game. And I think that Jacksonville defense can cause some problems for the Giants. And Jacksonville's putting up points. They're putting up points. So we'll see.
Giants have a new GM and a new head coach and a new attitude, and the players are obviously buying in, and they're definitely moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. So are the Jets.
And the Jets are very much the same formula. It's happening. You just hope Saquon stays healthy.
Yeah, Jacksonville, and he's not right now.
Jacksonville is favored by 3.
Oh, Jacksonville's favored.
Jacksonville's favored by 3.
There you go. The 5-1 Giants are a 3-point underdog. It is on the road.
The 5-1 Giants are a 3-point underdog to the 2-4 Jaguars.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this up really quick. I want to look at this really quick. First of all, let's look at I want to look at the power rankings. There's a couple of things in here. We'll talk about. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it now, and then we can talk about the Jets for a second. Anybody else? CBS Sports, they do. Here we go. They do Pete Prisco's power rankings every week. They do it. Well, the Giants just climbed 3. The Giants are now in the top 5 in CBS Sports. All right, so the Eagles are 1, Bills 2, Vikings 3, Chiefs 4, Giants 5. Cowboys to finish out the top 10. Cowboys 6, Jets 7. Jets are up 7 spots to 7 at 4 and 2. Titans 8.
They're generous here.
Yeah,
both teams.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Titans 8, Chargers 9, Bengals 10. Let's go to the next one. Patriots 11, Buccaneers 12, 49ers 13, Packers 14, Colts 15, 16 is the Dolphins, 17 is the Ravens, the Rams are 18, Falcons 19, Saints are 20. Then we go down to the rest. Jaguars on this list are 2-4 and ranked 28th. They moved down 2. Okay, so this CBS Sports list has the Giants as the fifth highest power ranking team in the NFL and has the Jaguars as the 5th worst power ranking team in the NFL.
Can you go back one slide?
The first one or the 11 through 20?
The first one.
There you go.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If the Chiefs were playing Jacksonville this week, would they be an underdog?
No, of course not.
Would the Cowboys be an underdog with Dak Prescott?
Not at all. I don't think the Cowboys would be an underdog with Carson Rush or whatever his name is.
Cooper
Rush.
How about the Jets?
Probably.
They might. Titans might. I wouldn't think the Chargers or the Bengals would be.
No. And does anybody here think the Titans are a better team than the Bengals?
No.
So, yeah, I agree.
I think Pete Prisco is sniffing glue.
That's why I assumed the Giants would be favored.
Hold on. Well, this is my point. Now, hold on one second. Let me just get off of this slide a second here. Now, over here, I happen to have 2 other rankings. ESPN's power rankings have the Giants at 5 as well. Okay. ESPN's power rankings had the Bills at 1. Let's put up the slide we just had. Let's really quick. Let's compare them. Has the Bills at 1, the Eagles at 2, so they flip-flop those. The Chiefs at 3, the Vikings at 4, so they flip-flop those, and then the Giants at 5. Okay, so ESPN as well as CBS and Pete Prisco have the Giants at 5. NFL has the Giants a little bit further down. I lost it. They're in the top. They're in the somewhere in there. They're in the top 10. The Giants are 7, right? The Giants are 7 on the NFL. So, but the Jags are still way down. Let me get down. Let me find out exactly where it was. I had this area of the page bookmarked, but it went away. So the Jaguars are 27th in the NFL. So every power ranking has the Giants, if not the top 5, if not the top 5, the top 10.
In the top 10, and the Jags in the bottom.
Jags in the bottom of right.
All right.
So now, I want to finish it up by this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Do one more slide. All right. This is the FPI chance to win. The Giants have a 45% chance to win at the Seahawks in 2 weeks, a 67% chance to win at the home against the Texans 2 weeks after that, a 71% chance to win against the Lions at home the week after that, and it only goes up to Thanksgiving. They have a 26% chance of winning away at the Cowboys. You're going to tell me the Giants only have a 1% chance less of a chance to beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving in Dallas than they do to beat the 2-4 Jaguars this week.
Yeah, I think everybody's on something here. There's something about this matchup that I don't like. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't like it.
I don't know. So
I also think that the Giants could be 3-2, or 4-1 in those next 5 games. I think that a couple of those projections are low. I think the Giants should have a higher than 1-4 chance of beating both Jacksonville and the Cowboys, and I think they should be favored to win against Seattle.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the Giants literally could be 8-3, 9-2 after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The one thing that I am concerned with the Giants is Saquon Barkley's health. That shoulder seems to be an ongoing issue, and it doesn't look good.
No,
doesn't look good.
No.
If he goes down, they're done.
Kadarius Toney might be back soon. Might be back soon.
Who was on the trading block last Sunday?
Who was on the trading block?
I don't know. There was some Giants news. I thought it was Kadarius Toney, or not Toney. Maybe it was Slayton. I don't know. Somebody was being projected to be traded or moved.
Well, if the Barkley's hurt, maybe they can trade for McCaffrey. He's on the block.
Yeah, is he back?
Trading New York Giants wide receiver Kadarius Toney would be a huge mistake from Joe Shane. That was a day ago. Yeah. Kadarius Toney apparently is a rumor that he's on the trading block.
See,
I did not hear that.
That would make him not a good draft.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. All right.
Your Johnny Carson sounded like
it's kind of a
Teddy Roosevelt.
It's kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Johnny Roosevelt.
Yeah,
Johnny Roosevelt.
Johnny Roosevelt.
Johnny Roosevelt. I did not know that. I can't do it. I could do a good Rodney Dangerfield. I can't do Johnny Carson.
Yeah, well, let's.
Hey, I'll tell you.
I knew we were gonna get it no matter what.
You were getting it anyway. But all right. So we'll see what happens with the Giants. They're playing good football. Everybody's buying into Brian Dable. He's working magic with what he has to work with there. And you know what? Knock on wood, they keep it going, and they just continue to give us.
I mean, they are without a doubt the surprise of the NFL so far.
Okay. By the way, on that note, really quick, the other night, I don't know whether you watched. Did you watch Monday Night Football with Troy Aikman, Troy Aikman, and the guy that's up his ass every day?
I did not watch Monday Night Football this week.
Joe Buck. They're talking about they're talking about the game, and whatchamacallit. He's going around the league, going around the NFC East, and he mentions he says the Eagles, he says the Cowboys, and then Joe Buck says, and the fun to watch New York Giants. I was like, who are you, and what did you do with Joe Buck? Because he never says that.
Yeah, really. That's
he hates
praise from him.
The Giants.
Well, look, having the Giants are maybe winning in an untraditional way, in an unconventional way.
Right.
How about the Jets?
Yeah, let's talk about the Jets.
I mean, the Jets might have, the Jets defense is like this. Mm-hmm. For those of you listening, I'm motioning in an upward trajectory. The Jets defense looks fantastic.
Yeah. They really do.
I mean,
new GM, new coach, buying into the system.
Pete, you even have them winning this week, right?
I do have them winning this week, and it's we've talked about how young they are, and rookies on this team are playing a big part. They're not only as starters,
rookies in the NFL are playing a big part
in general, but on the Jets, there's 2 or 3 guys that are making big plays. Week to week, and again, just anyone who's been on that team for the last 3 or 4 years, who's gone through what's his name, Scary Eyes, the former coach
Adam Gase.
Yeah, thank you, Adam Bradford. This is just gotta be like a big fan on a sweltering day blowing cool air over you, just to have a program that has some coherence. And
he was taking receipts not that long ago.
No, he was taking receipts, and he's going to be cashing them in or talking to whoever or whatever it is. But again, the players they've drafted have looked good. Their last week their running game was not so great until the fourth quarter. but that's when, you kind of needed it to be. But the players they've drafted are playing well. And again, they've got a system. They've got a team in place. I guess they're buying, Salah's a very excitable guy, as we hear from the Jets theme. And it's just good to see them moving in the right direction. And I think it's insane, as down as we all were on the Jets and the Giants, it's going into week 7, and they have now equaled their win totals, both teams, right, from last season.
Giants have surpassed their win total from last season.
Have they? I thought they had 5 last year.
4-13. They were both 4-13.
Okay. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the Jets have won 4. The Jets won 4 in a row. Did they start out
3 in a row? 3 in a row.
They started out 1.
So it's just nice to see teams moving in the right direction. We see a little bit of progress from Zach Wilson, and he's carrying the team when he has to, which is good. But he's getting a chance to play too, and their defense is kicking it. So they are certainly fun to watch. I don't know if Joe Buck would say that about them, but it's exciting to be a New York football fan right now. No matter where they end up, unless things, of course, completely fall apart for the rest of the season. But you got to like what both those teams are doing.
4-13.
It's possible. It's possible.
That's the thing, is that it is fucking possible. That's the scary part.
I don't know if it is.
Listen, the Jets are still what do I always say about the Mets? The Mets are going to be the Mets until they're not the Mets anymore.
Until they're not the Mets anymore, right?
If you're a Met fan or a Jet fan, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you're never quite sure. That's maybe the difference between the Jets and the Giants. The Giants lose Barkley, they're in big trouble offensively. Right. The Jets, obviously Wilson, but you don't know what could happen that could screw this team up,
It's true.
So you don't know what that shoe is going to be, but you're waiting for it.
My argument is that my point, I guess, is that I think the Jets are winning in an even more unconventional manner with a even weirder distribution of contributors on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I think that they're, having Wilson back is certainly going to skew that a little bit now, but that offense is, they're scoring in very, very out there ways, and their defense is forcing turnovers, and they're capitalizing on it. Something the Jets have never been good at doing in the past 4 or 5 years.
I'm still not sure the Jets, what is the Jets' offensive persona?
That's what I mean.
Not really sure what it is right now. We know what it is with the Giants. Let's give the ball to Saquon, and what you described. Don't have Bradford pass too many times. Mm-hmm. Don't have Jones. Thank you. Pass too many times. There's a plan there. You kind of know what they're going to come at you with. Right. The Jets. What is their offensive identity? I'm not sure.
Wait till they have a turnover or an opportunity to be in the opponent's side of the field, and then capitalize on it.
Get the ball on the 38-yard line on the other side of the field.
They're capitalizing on their positive field position possessions. Right. I don't want to say red zone because it's not always red zone, but it's red zone adjacent opportunities.
Yeah. It's almost kind of the team in general, I feel like the Jets, it's sort of like when you have a rookie who comes up, maybe I think about it in baseball, and they don't grasp the bigness of it all. They just come up and play. You know what I mean? They don't realize that they're supposed to be nervous or anything like that. They just go out and play. Yeah, I think they kind of feel like the Jets are let's just go play. They're all kids, a bunch of kids. Yeah, so let's just go play. Who cares what we're supposed to do or not supposed to do or how we're supposed to feel? Let's go out and play. So
Breece Hall looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks good.
He does.
He looks good.
Quentin Williams is a nut too. So
yeah, and they don't. Who's the other guy named Williams who's on the Giants now?
Leonard.
Yeah. Well, imagine if they still had him.
Right.
Defense would be even better.
Big cat. So, anyway, all right. So, 2 good teams. Playing record-wise, playing fun football in New York. Let's hope it continues.
Two up-and-coming teams playing.
Two up-and-coming teams. There you go.
Playing fun football.
Playing fun football. There you go. I like two up-and-coming teams playing fun football in New York. I like that. I want to throw this up really quick. Daniel Jones. It's just a graphic. I'll read it, and Harry, you can weigh in on it. Both of you can read in it. Daniel Jones has led the Giants to a 5-1 start this season. Is 8-3 in his last 11 starts dating back to last year. Leads the NFL with 4 game-winning drives in 2022. Is throwing to guys called up from the practice squad, and some fans still don't like him. So, what do you say to that? I saw this meme. I had to put it up and ask your opinions.
11 starts is not a career make.
No. Yeah, and
I mean, take any other, take any 11 start period. That's not his last 11, and those numbers will be slightly skewed. It's good, it's positive, but I mean, the book is not written on him yet.
Of course not. Of course not.
Daniel Jones's numbers have never looked horrible. They've never looked as bad and they've never looked as good as when they're winning. So,
well, his turnover numbers are
pretty
down. Horrific.
Yeah. But he's playing with a better offensive line. They're running the ball, so he's not having to pass as much. And quite honestly, they're putting in some plays that allow him to use movement and get him out of the pocket, which has helped him. So there's a reason why, is he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? No, maybe not a top 20. The Giants are winning No, he won't. I mean, maybe if Brady and Rodgers retires and somebody, maybe you could see him creeping into that 12 to 10, but I just don't foresee it happening. And it's not a knock against Daniel Jones. It's who he is. Now, can the Giants win with Daniel Jones like this? Absolutely. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 10 quarterback either, but the 49ers have found a way of winning with him, and they're almost a better team with him in there than if they had, somebody different. So,
except for last week.
Well, yeah, you're going to get the ups and downs. Daniel Jones and the Giants have had a Cinderella start to the season. And yes, it's good to see him not on his back as much, not getting hit as much, and not making dumb mistakes. I think that's the one thing that Daboll's instilled in him is the fact that, hey, don't force it. Don't force it and don't hold on to the ball. Daniel Jones had the longest release time in the NFL. And he shrunk that. You got to get rid of the ball. Whether it's a completion or not, you got to get rid of the ball. And he's improved on that. And he's throwing it twice as many times a game last year as he is this year. That's why he's back.
That's why.
And we've seen certain players that, we talk about them as game managers, right? Garoppolo's kind of one. Alex Smith always comes to mind. These guys went to Super Bowls,
right?
You can get there. A solid defense and a bit of a running game where you don't have to lean on your quarterback, to carry the day. And you can get there. Now, whether Daniel Jones will be that guy or not remains to be seen.
And Jones is a big part of that running game. That's the difference. He's running the ball.
Yeah, and that's an added element that he really brings that a lot of these other guys don't, is he does have that mobility. You don't want him to be
scares me at times because he's not the smartest at getting down.
Yeah, listen.
He's a big dude. He's tall, he's lanky, there's a lot of him. Yeah. It's harder to kind of maneuver. He's more in the Josh Allen realm where he's a big target when he's out there running the ball. So, I think he's improved a lot.
Right.
I also think that the Giants are not trying to force him into a system that he's incapable of playing in.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's take a quick look around, really quick, super quick. We've talked about. Let's look at the AFC East. Okay, the Jets right now are in second place behind the Bills at 4-2. Bills at 5-1. Dolphins and Pats at 3-3. Pats, by the way, just to bring it up. Just saying the name, Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you could say what you want about
another system quarterback.
About Belichick. It's just he's done a lot. I mean, the fact that they're 3-3 this year is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's It's funny. And I did you see the one rookie that I guess recovered a fumble on a punt or the kickoff or whatever it was? He recovered a fumble, and he brought it over. And one of the coaches was busting his chops and says, "Go give that to coach. He likes those. He likes it when you give him the ball like that when you recover a fumble." And he actually went over to Belichick and went to give him the ball. And Belichick was like, "The fuck are you doing?" What is this? It was pretty funny. Anyway, all right. So
that's the East.
So that's the East. Chiefs and Chargers tied at 4-2.
It's a lot of inconsistency in the AFC West.
Yep. And then the Broncos 2-4.
Broncos and Raiders suck.
Raiders suck.
The Raiders are the disappointment, I think.
I'm not sure the Chargers are a good team either. The verdict, I'm not convinced they're a good team. Anyway,
they have a really good quarterback.
They won three games in a row at 4-2.
I don't know if they have as good a team as they do a quarterback.
No. They haven't won anything convincingly though. Yeah. And they've won games that they should have won.
Yep. Yeah. AFC North is pretty much almost a dead heat. Ravens and Bengals 3-3. Browns and Steelers at 2-4.
The Browns are better than getting 14. And the Bengals are better than getting better.
Yeah. And rounded out the South, Titans and Colts at 3-2, Jags at 2-4, Texans at 1-3 and 1.
Yeah, whatever.
Tennessee are they just going to be that team that wins 12 games again this year? I mean,
they might win 10, but that might be enough to win the division.
Yeah, and enough.
At this pace, they're looking at a 10-7 record.
Yeah,
at this pace, 10-7, 11-6. They're looking at this pace.
But they could also be the team if they get into the playoffs and can put it together. They can knock out one of the bigger names.
They haven't one game. They haven't.
No, but I'm saying
for one game.
If they can do it for one game, and then you go, oh shit, the Chiefs are gone, or something like that.
Yeah. Right. But in that division,
they should be
10 games. They should and 10 games. Yeah. And I said 3-2 for the Colts before. They're 3-2-1. Yeah, because they tied with the Texans. So
right.
Anyway. Let's move over to the NFC. Whatchamacallit? We got obviously the Eagles in 6-0, Giants at 5-1, Cowboys at 4-2, and the Commanders at 2-4. I want to bring this graphic up really quick. 3 teams at 4. This is from a week ago, but 3 teams this is from this past Saturday. 3 teams at 4-1 or better in the first 5 games of the season in the same division since 2002. So 20 years. Right, 21 years actually. In 2002, you had the AFC West, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders were all 4-1. 2008, the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Redskins at the time were all 4-1. The 2020, the AFC North, Steelers were 5-0, and the Browns and the Ravens were 4-1. And then this year, of course, the Eagles are 5-0. Well, now 6-0, and the Giants are 5-1. Cowboys are 4-2. But all three of the teams 2 years ago in AFC North went on to make the playoffs. So, I mean, there's a little bit of parity now. So I don't think the same thing might happen.
So three of the previous 9 times this has happened, all the teams have gone to the playoffs. All 3 teams.
One of the previous 3
One
times.
of the previous 3 times.
Right. So, but in any event, I just thought it was an interesting graphic. I just want to show you.
You could see three teams from the NFC East.
Yeah, I think
it's unlikely, but it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah, looking at the way things are now, and I mean,
it's at the moment, it's the best division in football at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is not, Green Bay right now.
Green Bay might not make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is even, the 49ers and everybody in the West except for the Cardinals at 3-3. Right. So, you don't have those powerhouse.
Yeah, I could see the winner of the West and the winner of whatever this
North.
In the North, not having any,
wild card team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the South.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, one of them is going to have a wild card just by default.
Oh, there's 2 wild card teams or 3?
There's 3 wild card teams.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to. I mean, the Commanders aren't. making it. So
I would think the South would be the least likely to have a wild card team out of these four.
It depends though, because depends on what the
New Orleans, they're all going to be right there.
The Falcons. That I would say.
I don't know if New Orleans is going to be right there. They can't get healthy.
Yeah. Well, this should be another scintillating Thursday night game between the Cardinals and the Saints.
Cardinals, man, boy.
Cardinals going to beat the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
No, they're getting who's their big receiver? He's coming off the suspension now.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins is coming back, and I think did they just trade for somebody or got somebody else coming off an injury?
Unless it's Newt Rockney or Lawrence Taylor.
No, it's a couple of receivers.
Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson, right? They traded for him, right?
They traded for Robbie Anderson. Murray's
going to have a couple extra targets.
So, anyway, so the NFC West, just to finish it out, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, all at 3-3. Cardinals at 2-4. NFC North, Vikings, pretty much a commanding lead right now at 5-1. Packers at 3-3. Bears at 2-4. Lions at 1-4. And then the Bucks, the NFC South, the Bucks at 3-3, as well as the Falcons. They're tied for first. Saints at 2-4. Panthers at 1-5. Now, on that note, the Panthers, looks like, they fired Matt Rule last week, right? Steve Wilkes is the interim head coach. Mayfield's got an ankle sprain. Darnold's out. They traded Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals. Are they just cleaning house? Are they it's just a fire sale? Are they getting rid of, let's break it down and build it up again kind of thing? Or what do you think's going to happen?
Wasn't much to break down.
No, not a whole hell of a lot, but they do have some pieces. Obviously, Robbie Anderson's gone. They got DJ Moore. Could they get some stuff for DJ Moore? What about Christian McCaffrey?
He's officially, or according to reports, he's on the trading block.
He's going to demand Robbie, a lot.
Right? Baker is the book is just about closed on him. Donald Bradford is nothing, right? And he's done. He'll never be any good. You dumped Robbie Anderson, right? Who at least Darnold had a connection with on the Jets, and now you're entertaining offers for Christian McCaffrey.
You know what?
If
I'm the Giants, I'm thinking about it. It's a safety net for Barkley, but if you have both of them somewhat healthy, think about that rotation. McCaffrey's a hell of a receiver too. It's almost like giving Daniel Jones and Bellinger have really clicked. It's almost like giving him another tight end.
Yeah, but here it is. It's a trade though, and what are the Panthers going to want?
Giants have some draft capital. Yeah,
but they
want give Kadarius Toney.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe Galloway too, right?
Yeah,
he's doing nothing for you.
That's right.
Give him your bust receivers.
There you go.
Oh, Galloway makes a lot of money, so they probably
wouldn't do that.
Right? No. They probably wouldn't.
McCaffrey makes a lot of money, so it'd have to be kind of equal.
Equal, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So that works.
Tony's right. Tony's a second-year player, so he's still into the rookie deal for 3 more years.
Tony and Galladay for Christian McCaffrey, I would do that.
Let's do it.
If they'll accept it.
You heard it here. All 3 people that hear this.
Done.
Pass it
along. if you're the Panthers and you're going to trade your star running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you figure, well, we're going to draft a quarterback, right? Because we don't have one
get some receivers.
Yep.
You might as well get a couple of receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't Carolina sort of the land of disgruntled idiots anyway? So I mean, you got a problem with your current team. Let's go to Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina. It's almost like you could turn it over like a fantasy team.
Yep.
Right? You get rid of like 10 out of your 12 players. It's just, all right, that first 6 weeks, it didn't fucking work. I'm going to switch these guys out and bring some new guys in.
New guys in, right, yeah.
What have you got to lose? You're 1-5.
Exactly.
All right. Give him Daniel Jones.
No.
Oh, now we're on to keeping Daniel Jones.
No, yeah, but who are you going to put in there? We're 5-1. You want to get rid of
I'd like to see if it makes a difference.
Well, but if it does, then what are you going to do?
Maybe McCaffrey could play quarterback.
Maybe McCaffrey can play quarterback.
Else in there.
Get Darnold with him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Bring Sam Darnold back to Jersey.
All right. Enough of the nonsense. All right.
Just walking into the stadium.
Is it your future Giants quarterback out of concussion protocol?
What?
Isn't your future quarterback for the Giants, according to your master plan, isn't he out of concussion protocol? So that's who you have. Yeah. Who were you so hot on that the Giants picked up as a backup quarterback this year?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Well, hey, I wasn't hot on him. I was just saying he's there.
Right? You were. There was the whole thing. Yeah.
Anyway. No, I was just saying if Daniel Jones didn't work out, at least he's there to get through the rest of the year, and then we draft the future quarterback. I didn't say he was the future quarterback.
I don't want to go through another draft of a quarterback.
I know. All right.
Joe Burrow's rookie contract up.
Exactly. Right. So I forgot
4 seasons.
We forgot to play the Jets theme.
That's okay.
All right, we'll do it the next time. There you go. All right. On that note,
although we're gonna read a headline Monday. Jets lose, blame lack of podcast playing their theme. Ever since our new theme, we started winning.
All right, I'll play the short one, and I got to play it.
How you doing, brother? Joe Douglas.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to turn you over to Coach Sala.
Hey, yelling. I'm great, man. Blessed to be here, man.
Hey, man. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Family.
How is Sawstone?
Decent.
Doing great.
Doing good. He's every Sunday cooking it up.
I tell you what, Joe Douglas has done a good job, but he still looks
bad. I know.
They put the camera on him during the game, and I'm just like, he looks creepy.
He does.
All right.
Should we do our picks for this upcoming week?
Yeah, you got him right. I don't remember what.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
we got him.
All right. Hold on.
The coin.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I'll lose to the coin.
No one wants to be beaten by the coin.
There you go.
Sounds like the tape on that front rail's a little heavy.
A little heavy.
All right. Beaten by the coin. Just a quick recap from last week. Jersey Johnny 3-2. Harry Lug Nutz also 3-2. Harry still leads by 3 games. Yours truly 2-3. So John and I are tied now. We all lost to the coin for the second week this season, as the coin went 4-1, only losing with the Chiefs, and is now a surprising, I would say, 17-17.
Look at that.
Who's in the lead, John?
You are.
You got a 3-game lead over John and I.
Wow.
So there we go. And it was interesting because you and John lost with Green Bay. You and I lost with Baltimore. I had to pick fucking Dallas, of course. Oh, well. Anyway.
That was a close one.
Yeah, it was closer than the score might indicate. I thought they had a chance at 2017. I thought they were coming back. But so 3 games, that might be the biggest lead, or close to the biggest lead we've ever had. Certainly the biggest lead this year.
Yeah, this year. I'll screw it up this week.
Well, you know. So this week our games are Atlanta visiting Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
John?
I will be taking Cincinnati, please.
Harry?
I will be taking Cincinnati.
I'm also going to take Cincinnati. And the coin is taking Cincinnati, the away team. There we go. So we're all in lockstep there.
Falcons are the away team.
Are they? No, I thought Atlanta was...
Atlanta's visiting Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So they're taking Atlanta?
So that means the coin is taking Atlanta.
Okay.
All right, and this might be an interesting battle. 2 teams that are we talked about 2 teams that are in the division. Colts visiting the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Harry?
I'm going to take those Titans.
Taking the Titans. John?
Colts, please.
I'm going to take the Colts as well, because why not?
Why not?
And the coin says heads, which is the home team, so...
Harry and the coin.
Harry and the coin. All right. in a cellar dwellers battle for whatever the opposite of supremacy is. Houston visiting Vegas.
Depravity?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm taking Vegas because they got to win sometime. Although I'm tempted to take Houston, but
I'm also going to take Vegas.
Yeah, I think
Taking
the Raiders are better. If the Raiders lose this, I think you might see somebody's job on the line.
Yeah, they're a better team. All right, let's flip. And the coin says heads, which is Las
Raiders.
Vegas. So there we go. So we're all in lockstep for that one. Seattle visiting the LA Clippers. And Seattle maybe on the rise a little bit. Their defense is certainly looking better than it was earlier.
Sure.
And the Chargers, we all, maybe at least two of us agree, we don't really know if they're that good or not, but we know their quarterback is good.
Right.
So, Harry.
Hurt. Yeah, their quarterback's great, but he's hurt. Still, I think the Chargers should win this game.
All right, he's not playing this week?
He's playing.
No, he is, but he's been hurt all year.
Yeah, okay. John?
I'm going with the Seahawks.
Going with the Seahawks.
Yepper.
I'm going to take the Clippers. So Harry and I like the Clippers, and the coin likes Tails, which is the away team. So John and the coin.
Johnny and the coin.
Picking the Sea Chickens. And finally, Kansas City coming off the rough loss at Buffalo, going against San Francisco, and who knows what they're going to do. Anybody feel like taking San Francisco in this one?
No.
Nope, me neither. All right, let's see what the coin says. Coin likes the home team, which is San Francisco.
49ers.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. We are all in lockstep on Las Vegas. That is it. Otherwise, some differences across the board. So
good mix up. We'll have some movement in the standings.
We should have some movement here. Yeah.
We are. Yeah, they're all in lockstep against the Raiders with the coin. We're all in lockstep with Cincinnati. The coin's different, but all the other three games, there's some. The Chiefs. So there's only two games.
Coin is on an island with Atlanta and San Francisco.
Right.
John's got the Seahawks on an island, and
no, Coin's got the Seahawks too.
Well, I don't.
Well, not including the coin. The three of us.
The coin does.
Oh, right. Yep.
And then
you're on an island with Tennessee amongst the three of us.
There you go. Cool.
So yeah, that's what we like.
All right. Fair enough.
Kind of a bunch of stinkers this week. I mean, this could turn out to be.
It could be good. I'll tell you what. That Kansas City San Francisco game is going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
So says Harry.
So says Harry. All right. Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Are we done?
We are done.
And look at that. The music.
You want to do a quick? Are they for real?
We got to do. Are they for real? Yeah. We were done with beaten by the coin. We were done with. But...
Yeah, we'll make this quick. We'll make it a
simple
yes or no.
Are they for real? Here we go.
What is real?
Wow.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
They're real and they're spectacular.
There you go.
All right. What happened with the? Thank you, StreamYard, for more excellent. I don't know. Is that the way it came across, or
that's the way it came across?
Oh, really? All right. I gotta send it to you because it's not the way it was.
Like it.
All right. First up, we may have to change this segment to "Has Harry changed his mind yet?" We're going to go back to a team that we talked about the last time we did this, the New York Football Giants.
All right.
John, are they for real? 5-1 now.
Yes.
Are they for real? Yes.
Yes,
John,
yes. With a caveat, for what they are, yes, they're for real.
Right. They're for real doesn't mean do they have a chance at winning the Super Bowl. It means are they what they appear, which is better.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a fluke.
Right.
Harry, You said no last time. What do you think now?
A
couple more wins and they're 5-1.
They're 5-1. I mean, look. I said it earlier. They are the biggest surprise in the NFL this year. I think I put the Jets right behind them. So yeah, I think that they are realer than they've been in the past. It all depends on what your definition of real is, but yeah, they're getting realer every day.
They're getting realer every day. I like it. Okay, number 2.
They're getting realer.
The team that loves to lose to New York, the Green Bay Packers, now 3-3. They have not looked good. It's obviously not just Aaron Rodgers doesn't have Devontae Adams anymore. They got some bigger problems that need to be fixed. Yeah. Are the Packers this bad? Are they for real?
Are they for real? Meaning, are they this bad?
Are they
this bad?
Are they really this bad?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say
better than they appear.
They're better than they appear. Are they are they going to turn it around? And they're 3-3. They're 3-3 right now, right? Or 3-2, 3-3,
3-3. Yeah.
Are they going to turn it around? Are they going to turn it around and go right? Are they going to turn it around and go 14-3? Hell no. But are they going to finish 3-14? Hell no. So yeah,
so they'll be in the hunt for the division title.
Yeah, they'll be hanging around.
Okay, Harry,
they've lost in consecutive weeks to the Giants and the Jets. So the real question is, are the Giants and Jets for real? And I'll answer this by saying, do I think right now those two teams are a better team than the Green Bay Packers? And I will say yes. I think Green Bay is going to be a 500 team with one game swing one way or the other. So they could wind up 2 games over 500. They could wind up at 500 or 2 games under. I think that there's a very good chance that this team is a bubble team for the playoffs this year. With the way the Vikings are playing and with the way that the NFC East is playing, the Green Bay Packers, I think right now, are a bubble team for the playoffs.
I tend to agree with Harry. I don't think they are quite this bad, but I don't think they're just in a lull. And look, this past week was supposed to be, according to many of the pundits, their get right game, right? They're going to play the Mets and they're going to get right. It didn't happen. So I'm going to say, yeah, they're kind of for real. I don't know if they'll be 500, but I'd be surprised if they were more than 2 games over 500. Which
that's where I see them.
All right.
Right now the Packers have
their schedule's not that hard.
They lost their opener to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They beat the Bears.
Okay.
They barely beat the Bucks, who are the Bucks right now.
And the Bucks and Packers are the same conversation, by the way.
Right, yeah. They barely beat the Patriots, and the Patriots almost came back and won it.
With the backup quarterback.
With the
third string quarterback. Third string quarterback.
And they lost to the Giants and
the Jets.
And the Jets.
Yeah. So they're not good right now.
What at the end of the year when they are
9-8?
9-8.
Maybe.
You guys come tell me I was right.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'm in agreement with you. Maybe they'll go 10-7. All right. So the next team was the Bucks. Also 3-3. Are they just in a little bit of a slump right here, or are they just not as good as they have been in the past?
There's a lot going on there, and I think that
there's a lot of off the field too stuff.
Well, I think it's their offensive line. I think it's their offensive line, and the fact that Brady doesn't have he hasn't had his all of his weapons, and the absence of Gronk is way more noticeable when you have people like what's his name who's the receiver who was out for 2 weeks.
Mike Evans.
Well, Mike Evans, it just his presence makes those receivers way more of an easier target, and I just don't think they have a replacement for it. They're not as deep, and he doesn't have their offensive rhythm is off, and their defense is on the field too much. And their defense isn't as good as it was in the past 2 years. So I think they'll be 3, maybe 4 games under 500 this year, but they'd be another team. If they wound up 9-8, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, the Bucks have only scored 121 points. They've only allowed 103. There's only 5 teams that have allowed less points than them.
Right.
So I think
by points allowed, their defense is looks great. What I mean though is that they just can't seem. They've given up some points at the end of the game, and they've been close, but they haven't been able to convert on a 2-point conversion, or they've scored and then the other team scored at the end of the game. Their games are low scoring. I like them in an under in almost any situation. Mm-hmm. They're just not as dynamic as they have been in years past. They're a good team. They're just not the Bucks that we've known for the last 2 years. And look, last year, I would argue their offense was better than the year that they won the Super Bowl. I mean, Brady was on fire last year. So it's a completely different offense, and it's the personnel and the fact that he just doesn't have the time that he needs in order to make that work. He doesn't have the time or the number of options in the receiving core.
Right.
So. All right. As you said, same story, similar story with the...
Yeah, very similar, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right. Real quick, we'll switch to baseball. Are the Phillies for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean...
Yeah,
I think
you kind of have to say they are, right?
They are. They've been hot. While the story in the NL East was obviously the Braves, the Phillies were right behind them. Maybe a little bit of a later start as to when they turned it around. But this is a team that went through a managerial change. What, in June?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that. I think
props to the Phillies.
Yeah, about 20 games after who was their manager?
Yeah,
Joe something.
Yeah, Joe somebody. And they went like, I don't know, 20-6 or something like that. And we went, boy, is that just a change in manager, or have they? But
they also are more talented than I think people realize, and they have a good combination of some young players and a lot of veteran players.
Yeah,
and
you had a lot of attention being played to the Mets,
right,
and to the Braves. So the Phillies
and this postseason played right into their hands.
Yep. All right, the other their opponents in the championship series, the Padres. Are the Padres for real?
Unfortunately for the Phillies, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
I think if you're a baseball team and you've gotten this far, you're for real.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's what I figured. Those were kind of gimmies. All right, that's it. That's all I had.
There you go. All right. Good theme, by the way. Have to applaud there. Yeah, that was the first time we used the theme, so
I like the theme.
I got to send a new copy of it because that one was not.
This just in: Frankie Montas has made his postseason
debut.
The Yankees, and the first batter he faced hit a home run. So there you go.
Well, that could have happened to anybody,
right?
Sure.
All right. All right. Now, before we wrap up this show, hockey started last week. Basketball started yesterday and today. Really quick, let's get the numbers down. Harry, give me your prediction for the Knicks record this year.
What was it last year?
41. No, 40. Yeah, 40 and 43 and 40. No, it was less than that. Somewhere in there. It's like they were close to 500.
I think the Knicks will win 44 games this year.
44. So just 44 wins.
44 wins, whatever that calculates out to.
44 and 38.
There you go.
All right, Pete.
Let's see. They lost by 3 in overtime to Memphis tonight. I think they'll be better than last year. I think they'll be a 45 win team.
So 45 and 37. All right.
I'm going out on a limb there.
I'm going. Because I see some stuff that I like. 48 and 34.
All right.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
50-win team.
There you go. All right. We'll start with Pete on this one. Pete, give me the Nets record.
What they win last year? That doesn't matter. Let's see. They lost to the Pelicans by 22. Didn't get to see any of the game, but Zion supposedly looks good. Slimmed down, muscular. Like he finally realized I can't just be a fat body because my legs and knees won't make it. He could be dangerous. Be interesting to watch if he stays healthy. Sure. I don't know. How many games they win last year?
47. 46.
47.
Something like that.
I think
Somewhere in there.
When did the Nets play? Today?
Today.
Yeah. They lost 130 to 108 to the Pelicans. I think at home. I think they're a 500 team.
41-41.
Yep.
All right. Harry.
Oh, I don't know with this Nets team. They've got enough talent to win 50 games. The Nets are going to win 50 games.
50-32.
I will say this. This New Orleans team, they could very well wind up in the NBA Finals. Or at least giving Golden State a run for their money in the Western Conference Finals. I think they are going to be the team that is going to be this year's Memphis Grizzlies. I think they're going to do some barring injuries, which is always a big if. I think they are deep. I think they're scary. And I think they are going to be a very, very good team.
Fair enough.
Let me throw these numbers at you real quick. This is the starters for the Pelicans. Plus 24, plus 13, plus 28, plus 34, plus 23.
Yeah.
For the Nets tonight, minus 23, minus 27, minus 15, minus 18, minus 26.
Right.
And we'll throw in Day'Ron Sharp, who played 22 minutes, minus 10, and Patty Mills, minus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Yikes is right.
That's an epic fail.
That's an epic fail.
John, give us your number.
46-36.
46-36. All right.
46-36. Yeah. Really quick, we don't all have to do it. I'm just curious what Harry thinks the Nuggets record is going to be this year.
You know, everybody's hot on the Nuggets, and it's bearing out tonight against a depleted Jazz team. They're getting smoked. It's in Utah. I don't think that. What did the Nuggets win last year? I don't have that information in front of me, but I think the Nuggets are going to be hard pressed to win 50 games this year. I think that the West has gotten tougher. I think that even though there's going to be an easier path, supposedly, with Utah losing the personnel that they did, I think
they were 48-34 last year.
I think the Nuggets win. I think they're going to be about 2 games better. I think the Nuggets win 50 games.
50-32. All right, fair enough. Pete, you want to weigh in it? I'm not weighing in on it.
Which is interesting because that would have put them in 5th last year, winning those 50 games.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver, I'll say, I think they'll win 48 again. Why not?
Yeah. 48-34. Yeah, I'll be right there with you. I'll say 48-34 as well. All right. And who's winning the East?
Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I think the Celtics.
And who's winning the West?
The Pelicans.
You're going Pelicans, huh?
I'll say the Lakers. No. I'll say the Grizzlies. No, I'll say the Warriors.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of chalk, but
all right. And that's not what I wanted. Hate that.
Who does John think is going to win?
The West. I agree with you with Boston. Although this seems to be the year of Philly, so
yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Flyers are 4-0 right now, or 3-0 or whatever. But I'm going to go out on a limb. It's not that much of a limb.
Pick the Warriors.
You know what? I'm just to make it interesting. I'm going Memphis.
There you go.
So Boston and the Pelicans is Harry. Boston and the Warriors is Pete, and Boston and the Grizzlies is me. All right.
So it's actually going to be
we're guaranteed Phoenix,
Detroit, and the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, I did forget about the Clippers. To be honest with you,
Detroit and Portland.
Yeah, Detroit and Portland.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Was that an NBA Finals when Detroit won?
Was it Portland?
Did they beat Portland one year?
Maybe. Or is it just the two teams that Rasheed Wallace played for?
I think it was Rasheed Wallace. All right. Just to finish it up, we Rangers. We don't have to get. I mean, it's not really wins, right? It's points and everything else. Are the Rangers making the playoffs?
Yes.
We all in agreement with that?
I say no.
Pete says no. So hold on. So Harry and John say yes, and Pete says no. And then, no, it is not. I'm not looking for that. Okay. Islanders, do they make the playoffs?
I say yes.
Shocker.
Yes.
No, I don't like the Islanders. I live on the island, but I don't like them.
Mm-hmm. Pete and Harry say yes. I'm going to say no.
Ooh.
All right. And Devils, do they make the playoffs?
Yes.
Of course. Harry?
No.
No. All right, hold on. Every time I'm putting our initials in parentheses, and I put a capital P in a parenthesis, and it wants to autocorrect it to a published, the circle with a P in it. Yeah.
just use it.
So no.
Maybe I'll change my name to that symbol.
Just use RP.
RP. There you go. Cool. All right, we're good. All right, there we go. And Harry, do the Avalanche make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good. All right, there we go. I think we're good.
All right.
Anything else?
One last thing. Yesterday was Brittany Griner's birthday. I don't know if you know that. Steph Curry made a statement about it. She is, of course, still in Russia, and I believe has been sentenced to 9 years.
Yeah,
for having a vape pen with cannabis in it, which I guess she has admitted to. But
she admitted to it because she thought it was going to lead to a more lenient sentence and potentially some sort of plea deal to get her out.
Well, they're apparently going to have a hearing as she's appealed, and they're going to have a hearing. So maybe the fact that she's admitted will help get her off the hook. But she's been there for now, I don't know, 245 or 6 days. So yesterday, I guess the Golden State was having their ring ceremony, and Stephen Curry took some time to say a few words about her. And we mention her every now and then, but she is still imprisoned in Russia. Yeah,
I mean, can we offer up Kanye for Britney?
Hold on.
Yeah, we could.
It's get it right. It's
yay.
It's yay.
Yeah. You know what? Let's throw Joey Galloway.
It's not ye.
It's not ye. It's yay.
Throw Joey Galloway in there.
It wasn't Kanye. It was Kanye.
Joey Galloway.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I thought you wanted to throw Joey. Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay. That's it.
I thought Joey Gallo. I think
Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway. Is that Joey?
Yeah,
Galloway?
whoever. Yeah. Who is Joey Galloway? Is probably a musician or something?
Joey Galloway.
Maybe a magician.
Yeah. Maybe
throw him in too.
Maybe he can make some stuff disappear. What the hell? Yeah. All right.
I just want to say one thing before we sign off.
Sure.
Yesterday was the anniversary of Reggie Jackson's 3 home run game. And today is the birthday of Mr. Uncle Floyd.
Happy birthday, Mr. Uncle Floyd.
Happy birthday, Floyd Vivino.
I will also say that
Florio Vivino.
Florio Vivino.
Oh, is that his actual first name?
Yes, from Patterson, New Jersey. I think he lives and still lives in Hawthorne or something.
He does. He lives in Hawthorne, yeah. Yeah,
Joey Galloway was a pro football player.
When I lived in Joey Galloway, there you go.
You said Galloway.
Galloway.
Yeah.
And Chris Calloway was a football player too. It's also it would also be happy birthday to my mother. It would be her 80th birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Call her by the name you affectionately called her, please.
Row 5 speed.
Well, and that and Rita.
Rita, yes.
Rita, yeah, there you go. So anyway, yes, happy birthday to all our birthday people out there today. And on that note, we will wrap the show up. I think it's about time. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think it's great. And Uncle Floyd, if you want to come on the show, that'd be great.
Uncle Floyd, we'd love to get you on the show. We'll make a couple phone calls and see if we can put that together. That would be an awesome show.
Oogie's invited too.
Oogie can definitely show up on the show that day.
Yeah.
So anyway, and maybe we get Jimmy on as well. He can play some.
Jimmy, yeah, that's his brother, right?
He can play some guitar while we're.
I think both his brother, Jimmy, and who's the other? His
other brother is
Johnny, Jimmy, Joey,
Jerry Vivino.
Yeah, they both were in Conan O'Brien's band for a long time.
Conan O'Brien's, Max Weinberg and the Max Weinberg 7. They were in.
That's right.
So,
all right, there you go.
All a bunch of Jersey musicians. Two of them on this show right here too.
Jersey Paisanos.
There you go.
The Vivino boys.
The Vivino boys. All right. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of the shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with video podcasts on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch all the playoffs. Watch more football, basketball, hockey are starting up. You got all 4 sports going on right now. Watch them. Enjoy, and we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.